are going to do here will be more of practical implementation. And I will expose you to certain tools like research writing tools and how you can organize your work. Like I said on the platform, that as we proceed, there will be some questions to answer and some things to do to keep you abreast in what you are doing. So as you are seeing, our basic topic today is essential information and tips on research, seminar, project, and proposal writing. All these things you call writing, academic writing in a nutshell. So there are basic tips you need to understand in writing them. And one of those tips is you have to choose your topic. You have to choose your topic. A lot of you are coming back from your IT, and I understand that there are some in 400 level who are on this platform. And from the last brief we had in our department, we are told that project topics will be assigned to students from 400 level so that it will be easier for them once they get to their final year. They will be able to know that the time is not choking them and deliver on the stipulated time. So choose your topic. I know a lot of you will be having the mind, I will do this one, I will do that one, I will do that one. But the basic thing you need to do, you have to brainstorm. You have to brainstorm using your brain to ask basic questions. And what are those questions? What are the major interests within your discipline? What are your interests in your discipline? Those of you in biomed, are you going to base in biomedical electronics or biomaterial or biokinetics or rehabilitation part of biomedical? Or those of you in technology, is it artificial denture that you major on, or you are going to explore other materials they use in making artificial denture, or the technology part of dental technology? So many areas. If you are in your own field, you should be asking yourself this basic question: what is my major interest in this discipline? And what personal significance and meaningful experience do I have as it relates to this discipline? Then the next thing is, what is the most exciting course that relates to this my field and my career pursuit? So which course in particular is more exciting to you in your course? Is it how to fabricate denture? For those of you in therapy, is it oral maxillofacial? I don't know how you pronounce it because I never taught some of you. Then those of you in social work, what is that course in your field that excites you most? Then what theories and concepts in your field of study interest you? Like that theory that when you hear it, you like to explore more, or you can read those theories to ask questions or get information from those theories. So as you are brainstorming to choose your topic, these are the things that will be coming to your mind. Then another one, do you have some ideas or concepts you have studied and are curious to explore more on it? I have some students that have come to me that they have some topics, and we are working on those topics. We are working on all those topics, and I believe as we work on, they are going to have their projects delivered very soon. Then upon completion of your degree, this one is a very capital question that you need to ask yourself. What are your career goals? Once you finish, are you going to venture into academics? Are you going to venture into maybe establishing yourself, being self-employed? Are you leaving your profession entirely to go and establish a different business, a different career, maybe in filmmaking? Or are you going to be a sit-at-home parent? So these are some of the basic things that will be coming to your mind, because if you do it right now, you're in your undergraduate, definitely in your postgraduate, you are going to get it very right. So another question, what are the major issues or problems faced in your industry today? So If I should ask somebody in technology or therapy, what is the major problem of your profession, the industry you are going to work in? What is the major problem they are facing? Because if you have a problem, that means you have a research to make. But if you don't have a problem, there is no research. I hope you are following me. You can unmute and talk. Let me see if you are following me. If I'm fast, you can tell me.
We are following.
We are following, sir.
Okay. Okay, so you can mute your mic back. Then the last but not the least, have you read any interesting articles or book related to your discipline? Have you studied any textbook? Have you gone online to find a research article and you read it and it exposed you more on some of the areas in your field and you want to ask more questions? You want to explore in that field. So this is the things that you have to answer before you'll be able to choose a topic, because most of you will say, once they say bring a project topic, you'll be running helter-skelter. Some of you go to business center to go and print something because they told you that the materials are there, that they have written this one, and you keep on recycling without knowing what you are doing. And once those people at the business center bring those things, some of us that are lecturers that know what we are doing, we will dictate the error. And when you are giving corrections to make, you will not be able to do that correction because, one, the person they gave the correction is you. The person doing the correction is another person. And that another person doing the correction is doing a wrong thing altogether from the beginning. So for you to get it right, you need to know all these basic thematics so that once you are giving your project or research to do, you should be able to apply these principles. And once you get it right, writing your research will not be an issue to you. So let me go to the next slide. Then the next tip is gather materials. So this is another part that will be very difficult for you, but we are going to work on it. What I'm doing today is to tell you the essential tips. The next topic will be the tools you can use to apply, and you get all those things and get your solutions. So gather materials. What you need to ask yourself if you want to gather this material, what is that question you want to answer with your research? What is that problem that you want your research or your project to solve? Take, for instance, those of you in biomedical, you know that 90% of medical equipment in this country are being imported. And most of them are top-notch medical equipment, but simple basic technologies that are used in manufacturing those equipment. Take, for instance, the DVT machine. The DVT machine, what does it do? It just take positive pressure and take negative pressure, swinging left and right, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And they make principles of electric motor. I hope you are following what I'm saying. Then you talk for another equipment, which is hematocrit machine. These are machines that are very basic in their application. But most of our lab depend on these equipments to function. But we can just sit at the comfort of our house and modify what the white men have done. And we call it that we are solving a problem of local content, producing what you have the resources within your ambit to solve most of your major problem. And it becomes a research. For you to gather those materials you are going to use to do it is a research on your own. Are you following what I'm saying? Then if you have this burning question, you now start to make key phrases. What are the key phrases? The key words, like hematocrites, principle of operation of hematocrites. What force does it use? What are the principles? If it's a centrifugal force, at what speed? What is the RPM, the standard RPM of this centrifugal force? Then the next one is that look to see if the source you found, the sources of the materials that you found, if you look up to see if it has tags, Tags are some of the things you can just type in and you find those materials immediately without going through the rigors of internet search. And this period is not the time they will tell you to go to library. Are you following what I'm saying? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me go back. I think I've just... So then another thing is that what kind of article source does your research need? The relevance of your research. Like one of my lecturers those days used to tell me that what we do is copying. And if we go to so many articles or journals online, 90% of what they do is to copy. They copy each other. But your ability to copy properly, what do I mean by copy properly? If you copy, you paraphrase, and you cite the person that you copied. That citing is what, if you take your work to your lecturers, they will tell you you did not put in-text citation. You did not cite the person you copied that paragraph from. Are you following me? And most of them will tell you to put maybe literatures that are recent, literatures from 2024 to maybe 2010, which is 14 years gap. That those ones below those years are obsolete. You should put a recent literature. How do you source for these things? It will still be in the tools we are going to discuss after this topic. Then when you finish, the reviews and the citations, like when you finish sourcing for these research topics, the search engine, going through all these things, the Google Scholar, the peer review articles, once you finish doing all these things, the next one, if you did not find what you are looking for, there is one journal you will get. There's a journal you might get and you say, yes, this journal looks very relevant to what I'm doing. You start to look out for those that have referenced that journal. If you check the people that have referenced that journal and you check their work, you might get somebody that have done work related to what you think you want to do. But the scope of your work or the methodology you want to apply might differ from what that person did. And that brings about what we call the research gap. Your research must always cover a problem. There is a gap your research must solve. So let me stop here and go to the next slide so that we meet up with the Zoom timing. Then another one is that when you get those materials, what do you do with the material? When you get those articles online, when you go to Sciencescape, when you go to maybe Elsevier, Thomson Reuters to source their articles, what do you do with those articles? You make a note out of each article. In those days, you will be writing. They will tell you, maybe you go to your supervisor, he will give you maybe 10 journals and tell you to go and summarize and come back. You'll be doing it physically. But now we have advent of computer and internet and AI as well. These things can be resolved. Then keep track of the articles author for proper referencing. You must reference those people you have copied their work. Use your own word when possible and avoid excessive use of long quotations. When you are writing your work, you can copy somebody, but you should avoid long copying or quotations. You can paraphrase what you have copied so that it will look as if you've done the work by yourself, but you just paraphrase what the person did. Then the key areas you need to focus when you are sourcing for materials are the abstract of that material, the research gap the material wants to cover, the methodology they use in their work, results and discussion, and recommendations. These are the basic key areas you'll be looking for when you are gathering materials. If all these areas are listed, discuss something that relates to your work. You just download the article and keep. Then the fourth tip is that you decide to write your thesis. And a thesis is a statement that states an argument or makes an assertion. It's just like a hypothesis, like you are making a statement of facts that need to be proven. And how do you prove it? It is this work you are doing as a research that will prove if this statement you have made is correct or wrong. Then, when you are decided to write your thesis, you will now follow these thematics to write. The research background is the first thing where you put the theoretical overview of the problem you want to solve, what has been existing, and the problem and challenges of that thing that have been existing before. Then the next one is this, the one I've just said, which is the statement of the problem. And we normally call the statement of the problem the research gap. The aim and objective. The aim of this, your work, will be the title. You must make your aim your title, which is what you are working on. Maybe my aim is to design and fabricate light curing device, right? Light curing acrylic device, no longer water-based curing acrylic device. Then the objective is the method you intend to use to achieve this aim. One, by assembling photodiodes. Two, by testing the light intensity of these photodiodes on acrylics, on different acrylics. And you now discuss the impact of these acrylics if it has cured or not. Then hypothesis is that statement of fact, like you will say, I'm using an example of light curing acrylic device. You say that light, you are stating that light can cure acrylics or artificial denture. Then this hypothesis need to be proven. That is where you now start to plot graphs, have to collect data that will prove that this hypothesis is what is true or false. And from what you have gathered, the data you have gathered and the analysis will prove that this hypothesis is true. Then significance of your work. Which area will your work be applied to? Can it stand the test of time? How long can this your work stand the test of time? Scope and limitation of your work, the literature review, the review of related work done in this your field, research gap, materials and method, results, evaluation and discussion, conclusion, recommendation, and contribution to knowledge. These are the basic areas you have to impute in your thesis. Then you now start to write your first draft. In writing this first draft, you have to be focused. Pay attention to the flow of your ideas, because once you have gathered these materials, the ideas will come to you, like it will imbue in you. You know the scope of what you are doing. And that is why when you are defending your work, you should own the work. Nobody should control your work. It's what you even tell your external supervisor that they will believe. Else, they should bring another idea or another quotation, another article that proved you wrong. Are you following me? Then you should reference properly, paraphrase properly, and do your in-text citation properly. Some of you will be told to do APA 6, APA 7, and you'll be doing maybe Harvard style of referencing, which is not good. Then run a grammar check and spell check on your work. Avoid using AI to write drafts of your thesis. Print out or review on screen for correction and stylish errors. Then send work or printed or soft copy to your supervisor for review. Then the next one, which is the last slide, is to take seriously all the comments of your professor, which is your supervisor, and peers on your draft. Run a spell and grammar check, run a plagiarism check, and run AI check to dictate the level of AI you incorporated in your work. So the next topic we are going to do is research writing tools, where I'm going to take you on how to use all these tools to write your work. Use the tools to search for a topic. Use the tools to do in-text citation. use the tools to summarize an article. Are you following me? And when we finish, you'll be able to have already made work. It's going to take a long time, but I'm proposing that maybe in the next 1 or 2 months, we will round up. And by then, you people will be disposed to write your project work. Thank you so much. Any question? Any question? Unmute your mic and ask question. Go to any question?
No, sir.
Kingsley, any question?
No, sir.
Why no, sir? This free young, who is the free young? What's your name? The person I'm seeing looks as if she's in a kitchen. I'm asking you, you are looking at me. The person laughing, iPhone. Any question?
I came late.
Okay. Larry Don, any question?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then what I will advise you, because I'm going to update you people on some of the tools. If you have laptop, you can bring your laptop. I will teach you what you are supposed to install and how you go about making use of all these tools that we'll be listing in the next lecture we are going to have. Are you following me? I don't
Yes, sir.
know. A lot of
Yes, sir.
wanted to have this lecture by
Yes, sir.
but unfortunately, I think we have about 11 participants. But I anticipate something like this to happen because yesterday, though it wasn't my fault, it was due to the people that supply, like the EEDC, everybody knows. Even as I'm talking to you, we don't have lights, but I'm making use of laptop. It has been charged, and I believe it lasts long. Yeah. So I wish you happy enjoyment for your Sunday. Eat your rice and rest. I'll be updating this thing on the YouTube. If you have time, you can still go through, and maybe by going through, you'll be able to answer some of the questions, the first questions that we noted in the lecture. If you answer it, that will be the first assignment we are going to have. These are the questions. So it will form our first assignment. If you answer it, we will now proceed to the next one. This will keep you people in check. Thank you so much, and have a nice evening.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.